It's Friday, October 27th here at the West End Gun Club. It's just past 0700. Been out here for like an hour or so because I was trying to get set up to do a run through of the November 2023 NRL22 Course of Fire. It was pitch black when I got here. Just trying to work in the dark, just trying to figure out how I'm going to lay out the stages and cleaning up targetry and etc. from last match. But in any case, I took today off. I was going to take Wednesday off to do the run through, but work stuff, and then I had to shift around some meetings or whatever, and just decided to take Friday. I don't like to take Fridays off. I don't like to do the 3-day weekend, extended weekend type of thing. Simply because there's always something to do on Monday and Friday, because either we're trying to get ready for the week or we're trying to close out the week, which is why I don't like to take Monday or Friday off. Wednesdays is always a good day because we tend not to have meetings on Wednesdays, and you know, it's just a good day for me personally, and the way my work schedule is, just to take Wednesdays off, which is why I prefer Wednesdays. In any case, took Friday off. I had to take a day off before the end of the month, so today's the day. But let's go ahead and show you what this looks like, because I did a slight modification to the KYL. At the last match, I beta tested this KYL splatter shield or whatever to prevent people from hitting the hanger portion of the KYL. The issue at hand was when I was testing this and making sure that the KYL wouldn't get stuck in the up position and resting against the shield, I was testing it on level ground. So last month, or during the last weekend's match or whatever, it was actually angled this way, and so the shield was sitting more vertical, and therefore it was starting to hit. So I had to do some funky manipulation of the leg so that the shield would stay more angled. And I was able to fix that or mitigate that during that match. But today I just got I got some pipe insulation from Ace, and the Velcro is actually not sticking to the foam very well, so I used duct tape to hold the hook and loop to this side, and I just put a strip of strip of loop on the back side of the target, and so the shield, and I would just lay it there. And so now it should not stay in that position. It should bounce off. Even if it's vertical, it shouldn't stick, hopefully. But it's just one little thing we'll test out, and I'm gonna have to figure out a better way to put the pipe insulation there. I'm also gonna cut some pipe insulation to put on the actual conduit here, just to so I can rest get that more angled instead of vertical. And, but yeah, we're gonna test it out today. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the stage of fire. The sun is finally, sunlight's starting to come out here, even though it is cloudy today. Before we get started off this morning, I'm going to go ahead and just get a quick windage verification. Last match, my windage was not correct. I think I was off like by 1/10 of a mil, 2/10 of a mil, to be honest. With the early morning wind compared to the mid-morning wind during that match, it just changed up, and I think I put on wind one way, and it was messing me up because the wind was going the other way. Anyway, we're just going to confirm it. I was moving slow this morning because yesterday I actually got my another COVID vaccine shot. It's like the 5th one I've gotten, so I think my last one was like late 2022, and so I got one for this upcoming winter season, I guess. And I did get it. If you were watching one of my previous range vlogs, I did get COVID like during the Super Bowl. So Super Bowl Sunday is when I felt weird, and then that Monday after I confirmed it through a test. But anyway, yesterday I was kind of, after I got the shot, I felt kind of, I won't say lightheaded, and I went to sleep early, but now I'm feeling pretty good. I'm okay. My left arm, just where they put the shot, it still kind of hurts, but it's okay. We're all good. And if you notice my front bipod, my SkyPod, if you look very close, we're running rubber feet, and those are the Atlas feet. The reason being is that the SkyPod feet, the usual ones, the metal ones, are ground down because I'm always shooting on concrete. So I've had the Atlas spare rubber feet for a long time, and the Atlas feet fit the single pull SkyPod, so I swapped them out right now. Oh, and one other thing before we start the match, or start the run through, I am using my magneto speed, and I think some people have asked me, hey, you gonna get that new Garmin? And When I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool, right? And I was like, I don't really need it. I got the lab radar and then the magneto speed, but then after a while, I said, you know what, I might as well just get it because I know I'm going to eventually want it. So I did order one. I ordered one. They're all back ordered, but I was told that it's estimated to ship in second week November roughly. So I'll have one hopefully by the end of November, and we'll try that out. People were dogpiling on that thing once it was announced, and everyone's like really ditching their lab radars. You can find them on sale on various forums for quite a low price right now, and I don't see why you wouldn't want to get one if you can get one for cheap. They do work. People just complain a lot about how I don't know, they're finicky to use, but I've had one since 2016, and once you figure out the nuances, it's not terrible. Granted, now that the Garmin is the same price as the lab radar, if not slightly cheaper, and it's smaller and it's got a bunch of other features which make it more attractive. If you're buying brand new for that price, then yeah, of course you're going to go Garmin on paper. But if you can find a used lab radar for half the price, I would get the lab radar. There's no reason to pass on it. Let's kick off the run through the November 2023 NRL22 Course of Fire by going over turkey and stuffing. 122nd part-time, 12 rounds. We have 4 banks of targets. We have a 3/4 inch KYL at 52 yards, a 1 inch on a single at 64, a 2 inch on a double hanger at 100, and another double hanger with a 2.5 inch at 100. And they're going to be side by side, left and right. 2 inch on the left, 2.5 on the right. The restriction here is you're not going to be able to dial elevation. You can only touch your magnification or your parallax knobs. You're going to start standing, rifle, and all gear in hand, mag in action open. On the start signal, you'll take a prone, supported position and engage the targets with 1 shot each from near to far, and then far to near. The far target will only be the left target from this position. So you're going to shoot the 3/4, 1 inch, 2, so near to far, then you're going to come back far to near. So 2, 1, and 3/4. So again, you're going to take a prone position, engage the targets with 1 shot each from near to far, then far to near, using the left target only for the far start. So you can do 3/4, 1 inch, 2, 2 inch, 1 inch, 3/4. You will then move to any position on the top half of the tank trap, either the center or the tips, and engage the targets with 1 shot each from near to far and then far to near. But the far target will only be the right target from this position. So you'll go back to the tank trap, then you go 3/4, 1, 2.5, 2.5, 1, 3/4. It's pretty straightforward. And I will say that given that you can use the center, I think most people will opt to use the center because that's probably going to be the most stable for them, theoretically. But we'll see how this goes. Why am I maxed out on my mag? Parallax. Barely hit that one. Back change. Oh, I missed that one. Barely hit that one. I think I'm coming low on that target. Oh, I timed out. Huh. Interesting. I surprisingly timed out on the stage. I didn't know why I timed out. I need to just probably watch myself. I was kind of moving a little bit slow, I guess. And I think my big thing here is that I am having windage issues. Like I'm all over the place on my windage for some reason. I think I need to clean the gun. But in any case, I think you probably need to shoot a little. I could afford to shoot a little faster. I think I was framing the KYL shots because I was afraid of my my Xero, my Wind Xero. And I did miss one round coming back on the tank trap, I think, missing the 64-yard target. But this is a pretty straightforward stage. You can't touch your elevation, so you are doing holdovers, so you got to know your holdovers. I think I was maxed out on my mag when I started the stage, which kind of slowed me down a little bit. And probably set your parallax to maybe just past 55, cut in between 55 or 52 rather and 64, and then don't adjust parallax with 100, and that should save you a little bit. They are relatively large, 2.5 inch targets at 100, so you shouldn't need the parallax adjustment, I don't think. That should save you some time. But anyway, I timed out, and but I don't think this is too difficult to stage. Anyway, let's go and move on to the next course of fire, or next stage of fire rather. Next stage we're running through is called Fall Break, 120-second part-time, 12 rounds. We have two targets. We have two banks of targets rather. We have the 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch KYL at 35 yards, and we have a 1.5 on a double hanger at 75 yards. This is the bonus stage. Finish extra time on the clock, you get bonus points. You can start standing rifle and all gear in hand, mag in action open. On start signal, you'll take a prone position and engage the targets in the following order: small KYL, large, far. You'll repeat these sequence until 12 rounds have been fired, time expired. So it's pretty easy. Just 1/4, 1/2, 75, 1/4, 1/2, 75, 1/4, 1/2. It's a cycle. Should be pretty easy. However, I don't know what's on my windage today, and the wind is actually getting pretty squirrely right now. It's only like 3 miles an hour, but the thing is, it's constantly shifting inside this bowl that we're in. I'm just gonna shoot straight away and hope for the best because it's only 35 yards, but it is a small target, of course. But let's just go and shoot it, and we'll see how this goes. Shooting through brush. Let's do mag change now. Parallax is going to kill you on this stage. I cannot see the target through the brush. And I just lost my target because I'm dialed out too far. Oh, I can't believe I just lost the target. Oh, there it is. Wow. 118.07. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. This bonus time stage you would anticipate is going to be relatively simple, and it is straightforward. However, you saw me almost time out. I finished a 118 and change elapsed, which leaves me just over a second. So what complicated at least this stage for me at our range is the fact that we are shooting at two different angles here.
if you see behind me, maybe we have the KYL target on the ground. We have to go 2 berms up just to get to our 75-yard target. So even though you're simply just shoot, we're changing angles as well, and probably the direction. So it is complicating that rhythm, in combination with the fact that you may want to adjust parallax. I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have just parallaxed for 35 or so, and then just winged it at 75 without touching the parallax. And that probably would help me. This guy's shooting in the bay behind me. However, what also caused me to lose time is the fact that I lost the target on that last shot. And I was like, I completely lost it. I couldn't find it on my scope, and I was just trying to find it. So that probably hurt me. So maybe I would have finished with at least 10 seconds off to watch the replay or when I edit. But maybe I would have saved 10 seconds there. In any case, this stage can be easy depending on your range logistics. However, at the West End Gun Club, keep in mind that you're probably going to have a little bit of issues. So you got to move with intent, keep your cadence. I would recommend probably not touching parallax if you can afford it. If you got a decent scope and you understand your scope and you can shoot without adjusting parallax, I would go for it that way to save yourself some time. And just keep in mind, go with your fundamentals and make sure you got your gun lined up correctly before you get behind it. Don't lose your target, otherwise you could time out in this stage. Anyway, let's go and move on to the next stage in this course of fire. Next stage we're running through in this course of fire is called opening day, 120-second part time. 10 rounds. We have 2 targets. We have a 2-inch on a single at 84 and a 3-inch on a double at 97. We have restrictions here because this is going to be a tripod as optional equipment stage. If using the tripod as optional equipment, the competitor must start with it in hand. So you're going to start standing, rifle, and all gear in hand, mag in action open. On the start signal, you will take a position on one of the props, the 5-gallon bucket or the sawhorse, and engage far to near with 1 shot each. You will then change props and engage targets in the same order. You will continue engaging targets in this sequence and alternating props until 10 shots have been fired or time expires. The use of the tripod as rear support is optional. If used, it will be fully deployed prior to the clock starting. So you can have it extended and the legs spread out however you want it, but you just have to have it in your hand. Am I reading that right? If used, will be fully deployed. Yeah. So yeah, you can have it. You just got to be holding it. So it's got to be off the ground and you're holding the tripod. But let's see how this one goes. I was spending a lot of time on this. I'm going to time out. And my tripod fell. Clean. Wow. That one's rough. I'm going to keep the side profile view so you can understand what's going on here. So I struggled with that, dropped the tripod. I came close to timing out. There's a lot of difficulty here. simply because you're switching every 2 shots, and you want to use the tripod, at least for the bucket, because it's going to be easier to get a stable shot. We're shooting uphill, so I opted to use this new Game Changer sticky that I got, and it's actually a little bit not good for this stage here like this. I should have went on the side, to be honest, but that's, I'll know, because it's the first time I ever used it. I'll lay it on the side next time if I use it on the sawhorse, because it was almost falling over. But I did want to use it here because I get that extra elevation instead of having to deploy my bipod, which can get kind of chintzy or difficult to do on the bucket under time. So I opted to just go with the Game Changer like that. And at first I was just going to shoot kind of hunched over, and I was able to do that a little bit, but it felt a little unstable, so I was reaching for the tripod. And it's going to be a game, or a kind of a struggle, trying to move this bipod around, or tripod rather, if you're going to use it for both the sawhorse and the bucket. And some will argue that maybe you don't even use the tripod. You should just go ahead and shoot with a big bag if you got one, and shoot knee up. Maybe use the bipod for here, but this is the challenging part of this this venue, is that when you're shooting out this bucket, you can't shoot prone, and you can't really shoot a good sitting position because we're shooting upward angle. So you can try to do a high prone, but you're going to be kind of shooting up and you're hunched over in a weird manner, and you get your chest off the ground. So that's the difficulty for this specific venue. So there's lots of ways you can approach this bucket, but what's going to get you speed moving back and forth? That's the big question here. Should I have just shot like a quasi prone in this manner instead of sitting, and maybe use the tripod in this manner? I think this might have actually worked better, to be honest. That allows me to push off with my knees and get over to this position and switch in this manner. That might have been better, and it'd been less of a balancing act trying to keep this like this, like, you know, this on the bucket, keeping it sideways all the time. So maybe I'll adjust that next time. It is going to hurt your knees on the concrete, but the way I'm shooting, but I think that's going to be the way to go. Maybe instead of trying to shoot sitting here using tripod, just go prone or quasi hunched prone if you can. A lot of people can't do that. They're just too big. Their back and their neck just doesn't facilitate that, in which case you might have to just go with a sitting position, high sitting, run 2 bags, but then again, you got to hold all your gear. So it's just a question of how much can you hold? What can you imagine? You're just making this thing way more complex than it needs to be. So in some regards, maybe you should go with a big bag and just ignore the tripod, because the tripod, if you're not very good with it, proficient, it could cost you a lot of time. So, I mean, that's just the balancing act there. I got my mega bag in the background. Let me just grab it. I think my rifle's balanced. I mean, would have been better just go with the mega bag instead of the tripod, because this one's easier to move around, right? I can just shoot high knee right here. Although I will say the tripod's a lot more stable, but this might be doable depending on how your heartbeat is. I don't know. This might be doable. Can I break a clean shot here? Yeah. So this might be the better choice instead of the tripod again. And also, I took the stage in the literal. It said fully deployed. I'm not sure if I'm in frame completely. My head might be above the top of the frame. Let me back up. If you note here, I'm using the TVC22i. This is kind of like my designated tripod for our matches. Fully deployed. I have the legs fully extended. So this thing's got a wide footprint. So technically the stage description says fully deployed. So I kept it fully deployed as is, and I kept the legs spread out like that when I started, and I held it in my hand with my bag. So with a smaller tripod, it might make things more easier. Like a tripod with less of a footprint, and it's shorter because you don't really need the height. So maybe we can go with a different tripod that doesn't deploy as tall as this, but this is what I have here for designated. So a lot of people are probably going to struggle with this stage. They want to use a tripod and they're not practicing with it. So if you want to use a tripod, practice with the tripod, moving around it and getting in position quickly. Otherwise, you may just want to use a couple bags instead on this stage. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next stage in this course of fire. Next stage we're running through is called Turkey Trot Like It's Hot, 120-second part time, 10 rounds. We have 2 targets. We have a 2-inch on a single at 77 and a 3-inch on a single hanger at 100 yards. No restrictions here. This is basically your pyramid stage. You're going to start standing, rifle in all gear in hand, mag in action open. On the start signal, you will engage the far target with 5 shots using the left or right outside edges on one side of the prop, 1 shot per position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible positions on each side. You will start with the lowest and work your way up to the highest position you can reach. If you can't reach the 4th or 5th position, then you'll work your way back down until five shots have been fired. After the 5th shot, you will transition to the opposite outside edge. So if you start on left, you'll go to the right. If you go right, left, and then you'll engage the near target with 5 shots in the same manner as the opposite side. So far target on one side, near target on the other side. And you're just basically changing positions. So reminder, if you're going to go 1, 2, 3, and if you can't make these next positions, the second you can't go up, you have to just start going back down until you fire 5 and switch to the other side. Pretty straightforward, but let's run through this one. Did not hit that. Pretty sure I got it. I don't know, could be wrong. I missed. It's all good. I think I missed 2. Near. And my bag's falling off my plate. It's fine. Missed to the left. Opted not to go with the bag on that one. Missed to the left again. I'm pulling them. Wow, timed out. Okay. Timed out again today. Just not my morning. I am kind of hungry though. I'm probably gonna get a snack and then drink some Gatorade because I think I'm dehydrated. But I was struggling a little bit with this plate because my bag keeps falling off this the Area 419 rail changer, which doesn't secure very well. In all honesty, I need to figure out a better way to attach it. But this is just a question of you're basically a glorified ladder stage where you just change positions every time. And so getting a position, resetting, and then trying to get a clean shot and move again very quickly inside 120 seconds. And I used the bag in some regard, but I felt like it was probably a crutch insofar as it was trying to manipulate it. I've probably been better off had I just ran the bag close to the mag, balanced it, and just shot sort of a free recoil shot and balanced the gun. I think that would have been faster for me. So I may just opt not to use the bag. I might use the bag at least for the bottom, but not for like the other stages, because you're just constantly trying to manipulate your leg, your knee, just to get it up to use the bag. So I think it's just making it more complicated than it needs to be. And I'll just run front rest, balance the gun, and shoot, and go from there. But I'm definitely going to use the bag at the bottom because we're shooting upward angle. At least from here, the upward angle is not as extreme once you get higher off the ground. Anyway, this is actually a relative. It's going to be one of the more difficult stages of this course of fire because it's 10 positions. You're basically shooting 10 different positions, or you're constantly moving positions every shot. So all I can say is practice. If you don't have a pyramid at home or whatever, or at your range, use a ladder. Ladder is probably the next best thing. Just shoot one rung, move, shoot rung, move. Just constantly shoot as fast as you can. Set some targets up. That's the best drill. Anyway, let's go into the 5th and final stage of this course of fire. The last stage we're running through is called Gobble till you wobble. 120-second part-time, 10 rounds. We have 2 different targets, same distance. We have a 2.5-inch target on double hangers at 70 yards. There's two of them, one on the left, one on the right, and they're supposed to be spaced 30 yards apart. I was able to get them 26 yards apart. That's the most I can do on this this range, but close enough. No restrictions. You're gonna start standing 3 feet behind the prop, which I guess this would be sufficient. And I'm gonna mark it here, but on the start signal, sorry, you're gonna start standing 3 feet behind the prop, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in action open. On the start signal, we'll take a position on the prop and engage the targets in the following fashion: left target, back to start position, right target, back to start position, left target, and keep doing that. So you're gonna keep resetting left, right, left, right, left, right. Start position means standing with rifle and all gear in hand. So you have to get your bag off of it too. So if you're gonna run a bag, you gotta pull your bag, get everything up, and start here. 3 feet back before stepping forward, establishing the next student position. You will continue this pattern for a total of 10 shots or until time expires. So what I'm gonna do though, I'm probably gonna get some painter's tape, and I'm gonna put a line here. So that means you have to like have both feet touching the ground behind the line before you go back. Because what I'm afraid of people are gonna do is this. They're gonna shoot, lift up, and then sort of just rock one step and do this, right? And I don't know, that's kind of cheap. I figure the best way is I want you to reset. I want you to get up, move both feet, plant, and come back forward, right? And I think getting both feet touching the ground behind that 3 foot mark at 3 feet on the ground at the same time, that's enough as a reset and you're back to position. So that's how I'm gonna do it at my range in my match, but I'm sure other match directors might choose a different method of enforcing that, but that's how I'm gonna do it. But let's go ahead and try this one. It's pretty straightforward, and I have to do this right the first time. If not, I'm just going to show all the mistakes because I only have 12 more rounds left. So I have enough for a malfunction while shooting the stage. But let's go ahead and try this one out. Back up my mag a little bit here. Ooh, almost dropped my gun. I don't even know how many shots I've taken. Take 2 more rounds, and I don't know what my time is. $109.57 elapsed. I set up the tape measure just so you had that as a visual aid here. Basically starting here, stepping forward, planting, shoot, step back, and I try to plant my feet. So hopefully in the replay that did, or the recording, it did show as I intended, but I wanted to start here, come down, plant, get gun down, and then take a shot. My lens caps are closed. Take the shot. Take my shot and then reset, come off, try to grab my bag. And I wasn't really doing it the same every time, but I picked up my bag, put both feet down, came back forward, plant, then reset, gun on target, taking a shot, and then pulling off. I think it would have been better had I consistently picked up my bag with my shooting hand, I guess. I do have these straps here. I should have just done that and make it more consistent. Come back forward, come down, plant gun, and then do that. So yeah, I think more efficiency with the bag, kind of holding it with one hand. So pick a hand that you're going to use to hold the bag. Since you're going to probably hold your forehand with your support arm, you'll probably just use the right hand to pick that up. And so, as you saw in the run, I was using bipod all the way back to my magwell and then bag under my pistol grip. However, it might actually be faster for some people who are a little bit more stable than I am, would be to go ahead and run bag down, in, go. And actually that feels a little pretty good. Come back off, step back, come down, plant, get down. Wow, actually now I'm doing this is actually a little bit better. It might actually be faster, to be honest. So now that I'm doing that, actually it feels better. I don't have any rounds to try this one, but I think this might actually be better because you're gonna grab bag with support hand, reset, come back, plant down, and get into a same position. Here I need to get my right leg up to get a bit more of my shoulder square. Actually, I'm gonna shoot like this next time. So I'm gonna do like this next time. The bipod one works. It's very stable. However, it takes you more time. I think this, being able to come off the barrel, holding bag with your support hand, resting rifle, and just laying it down, getting in position, drop, let the gun balance, and then taking that shot, probably easier. So, hey, things you learn while you practice. Anyway, that's it for this stage. I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning up because I got to get out of here. Actually, I got to meet some people for lunch, and then we'll wrap up this range vlog. Almost done packing up. Gonna get out of here pretty soon. But as far as the November 2023 NRL22 Course of Fire, I would argue that this is one of the more difficult courses of fire so far this season. You got 2 or 3 stages where you're constantly resetting your position after every shot or every 2 shots, and so that adds a lot of difficulty. And I think the one other stage you're resetting anyway, like after 5 shots you're resetting. So there is a good amount of movement here, and I don't want to say it's ultra difficult, but it's not easy. And so I'm going to say that this is definitely going to be a more challenging one. So if you're a novice shooter, you might find this Course of Fire kind of hard. But it's I would argue though, even though it might be more difficult, is a good match to go to because you need to learn how to shoot all these different fundamentals in order to do well. That's all I have to say about that. As far as our match, it's going to be, shoot, I have to bust out my calendar here because I am totally not aware of the dates here. But yeah, November 26th will be our match. That's the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So our match will be November 26th. But then our December match will be December 10th. That second Sunday, if I'm correct, that's the second Sunday is December 10th. We had to move it up because if we do it on the 4th Sunday in December, that will be Christmas Eve, which I can't do. As far as gear here, this is the first time I tried my sticky. This is a game changer, standard size or a full size with the sticky. It's got sticky, that rubberized. Well, it's not really rubber, so it won't melt or grease up, but it's got a nice sticky texture on bottom side, top side, and one of the sides. One of the faces. I don't know what you would call it. So top side, bottom side, and then one of the regular sides, and then that's it. Smooth on the other sides. I filled it with Get Light. I think it weighed about 5.5 pounds roughly, and now it's down to 2.25. So saved about 50% of weight. And I want to come out here, the next time I'll be out here, maybe I'll try to come out Sunday. Otherwise, I'll come out in a couple weeks because I want to shoot some center fire. I need some practice in. Really need some practice in a center fire, and I got some other gear I want to try out, such as this tack table, which you see here. This is kind of made out of polymer, so it weighs like next to nothing. So I'm trying to mess with this, and I'm going to use it with the sticky because it gets some nice texture there. But mess around with this tack table. Haven't played around with it too much, and then I want to mess around with my new game changer with center fire. Want to play around with my EL range TAs, which are in the Jeep. I didn't use them today, but I need them. But I'm still trying to test those out, those new laser range finding binoculars. I also need to try out my triple pull. I've had a SkyPod triple pull for like months now, but I've never used it or shot off of it. And I want to definitely get some practice with that, learn how to use it, especially with the center fire, with that recoil management. So we're going to try that out. But I got a lot of stuff I want to mess with because I'm trying to shoot that NRL Hunter in Arizona in January. We'll see how that goes, but we got a couple months to prepare for that. I've never shot like an organized
NRL/PRS style match before. I've always shot, well, I've shot them, but like the club matches, on occasion I've shot those, but they're pretty casual. But I haven't shot a serious one before. So, I mean, I need to get some practice in with that, and I need to go with my fundamentals. I don't shoot center fire much, and I don't shoot very well. So we're going to have to work on that because all my stuff is rim fire. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to go ahead and roll out of here. Today is Friday, October 27th here at the West End Gun Club. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vlog.